What is up, everyone, and welcome back. Today I have with me a special guest, Mr. Mensa from Messiah 1S Gaming, and that's like how you say it, right? Messiah 1S. I've like never even
Messiah,
asked.
Messiah 1S.
Yeah, 1S. Um, so it's funny because I've never really asked you that before. But yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna just let him introduce himself just real quick, brief intro. Some of you may know who he is. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? This is Mensa. Got the name from my boy, and I host a show called Off the Cuff. Some of y'all know me, some of y'all don't, but I just try to be real as can be. Hello.
All right. So today we are talking about the cult of Arcade 1-Up. Yes, that's right, the cult of Arcade 1-Up. And this is like something that I've been, because I used to do a lot more Arcade 1-Up stuff like as a gaming channel, and now it's like something that I'm actually interested in, like what's going on with the YouTuber side of it. And I think we have a $2 super chat from Kevin Clausen, which I appreciate. Thank you, Mr. Clausen. Good morning to you, or afternoon if it is. Carl O is in here. Bill, the mastermind. And we have War, obviously Kevin Clausen, Akuma Rev with his popcorn, and then Biggie D did make a comment up at the top that says, "It's me, it's me." So, no message, just showing support. Thank you. On my lunch break. So yeah, it's something that has really kind of caught my interest and attention because there is a strange pattern and a strange kind of like triangular correlation that's going on, and I'm very interested. I guess I have a lot of questions and ideas that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna talk about these things based off of events, like current events, things that have happened, and good morning, and kind of take an analytical dive into those things, because I think like one of the worst things that you can do when you're a YouTuber is like gas people, like gas your viewers. And when I say gas your viewers, I mean act like you're dumb and you don't know what's going on, and not present full information when you definitely have a bigger picture of whatever that information is. Okay. And so I have been kind of following one of the bigger quote unquote news channels, uh, and one of the smaller ones, really, and been keeping an eye on them because I want to see what is going on. I want to better understand and kind of have a bigger perspective of what's going on. And I've been watching these events kind of turn over, and from my past experiences, working with people who at the time maybe didn't work for Arcade 1-Up, but maybe now do. The information that I know about that kind of should be resonant through like YouTubing news channels seems to be speculative information. And Bono says they need to stop gassing us. And tell me they're not. Tell me they're not, Bo. That's the thing. Like, so we're gonna get into this, and Mensa, I want to hear, just real quick, like what's your quick take on it? What's your quick take on what you've seen?
Man, I agree with you. And it's tough because I know a lot of them. And, from what I know of them, they're really good people. So I got no ill will towards, nobody or anything like that. But at the same time, I kind of wish that uh, most of us would be taken serious, that we have common sense. I can't save you from presenting, not presenting that to your audience. If people know that stuff, I can't sit there and say, they're right or wrong, because, the cat's out the bag.
Yeah.
You feel me?
So let's see. I was trying to figure out if I'm going to go backwards or if I'm going to start from the beginning and go forward. And I think I'm going to kind of go do a little bit of both, but I think I'm going to start from right now. And last night I was watching Michael B's stream. And you guys, excuse me, I'm at the very end of this stupid sinus infection. So if I'm like snorting like a pig, then forgive me. Without mentioning individuals, I feel these guys want more arcades like us. All the Arcade Oneup streaming lately is keeping the hope alive with while we wait. And what's up, Damage Control, Toxin. But I think though that it's a little bit ridiculous when you're going live night after night to speculate on something that doesn't need speculation. Now you can do that. You can absolutely do that. You can do whatever you want on your channel, right? But what I'm saying is when you have a viewership of like 200 people and then you're gassing them when there's information available on the internet that already discusses these subjects or has, a factual presentation, then why would you not talk about that information or, expand on that? And so back to Mike B's stream last night, he's sitting there the whole time talking about, what's Arcade Oneup doing? They're so quiet. And, I don't understand what that means, because he is Arcade Oneup. He's a part of Arcade Oneup, and whether he's paid by them or not, whether he's on their payroll or not, is irrelevant. We know that he gets information directly from them. He said that, and his channel covers 3/4 scale arcades, but focuses a lot on Arcade Oneup and what they're doing. And so I heard him say that he doesn't really watch other stuff or what's going on. And that's where I get very confused, because how can you be a channel that covers 3/4 scale home arcade stuff, and more specifically Arcade Oneup, and not be paying attention to what's going on or what's relevant inside of that community space? Twisted Gaming, what's up? Gamer Armor and Triumph or Die. Triumph or Die says, I am selling off my Arcade Oneups. I'm moving on to bigger and better. And you got to do what you got to do. So I basically my point is just that, okay, how is this channel that's got 200 viewers on every live stream that covers 3/4 scale arcades, and additionally, like more specifically, is pointed towards Arcade Oneup coverage? That's a very strange thing for him to say. I don't really pay attention to what's going on. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't pay attention?
Yeah, that's a little awkward. As far as the speculation thing, I want to hit back on that. I think everyone's entitled to that. I remember I defended him on that one. I wrote to him because people were upset that he was making a speculation video or whatever, which he's clear to do. I think there's a fine line that everyone's trying to play, which is, do you or do you not represent the company? If you do, then don't play us for that. You're just one of us. If you're on the other scope. I think that's the confusion with a lot of folks. Speculation is okay, but then at the same time, if you're just doing speculation videos, are you bringing in any facts?
Mm.
And if you are bringing in facts, what facts are you bringing in? And then if facts are being presented to you, why are you ignoring those facts and not presenting it to your audience?
Mm-hmm.
Those are very confusing. I know just the other day, he did a show, and I wished him to have a great show, because he's done great things for me, for Bash. So I have positive things to say for Michael B. At the same token, I was a little taken aback when I had mentioned your name. Actually, I was like, hey, She-Line did a pretty cool show with John D. It was a great interview, and I
Mm-hmm.
super chatted him. I think it was like a $5 super chat, and I just got ignored. I was like, wait, did he miss it? But he read off like a bunch of other chats, and somebody else in the chat was like, finally a normal super chat. And I was like, so wait, he saw it. Like, did he? And then I noticed that prior to that, someone else had mentioned your name in the super chat, and that got ignored as well. So I don't know. It was strange behavior, because as far as I'm concerned, he's a great dude. He does great things for the community.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really confused and taken aback when you were not mentioned.
Yeah, that's kind of it's kind of shady that he ignored your super chat. And I know, like, last night I saw people talking about the interview with John and quoting what John said in the interview, which was directly related to letting rumors boil, and then being quiet about it just solidifies it for people, or solidifies the confusion. We got Vic VP in here, and he says the fact that people still have high hopes for Oneup blows my mind. I get it. It's a cool way to bring back retro gaming to the home, but it blows my mind people have like 12 of these cabs in their home. And then he says, as far as the future, people are all going crazy. Where's Oneup? Where's the games? I ask, even if Oneup got a license from a game you wanted, you have hopes the quality will be good. Look at Time Crisis, just blows my mind. Again, it's a cheap way to get in the hobby, but the person that has 12 cabs, they could have put money towards a multicade with a PC and not complain. And yeah, there's and Vic, all good points and totally true. But I think part of the following of Oneup is the fact that each cab, it looks like, or it looks similar to in form factor what the original cab was, and like that's what the nostalgia is for people. That's my take on it. But I think, like, especially with like the licensing aspect of it, it's like, we know now, like, everybody knows, or not everybody, but people should know, especially with the clips that I released the other day of John speaking about it, that pretty much they're sitting on a gold mine of licenses. Now, whether or not they're keeping those, because John did make a tweet here, and I'm going to get to these other comments, but John did make a tweet here a day ago that says a company can't just buy a license that's far from the truth. A licensor has to consider whether the licensee can treat their IP with respect, quality, and authenticity, and is able to represent the licensor's core values. To keep it, the licensed product must show growth. So
yes,
that is a very important thing to consider. So I don't know how much of an effect that has on the current licenses that they hold and their ability to even be able to use them. We know that John had gotten the company a lot of licenses or deals with licensors. And I mean, just for example, in the interview, he says that they have all the Capcom licenses. He says that he refers to other obscure titles like Afterburner and Primal Rage and then just saying basically like, you know, it's just a matter of like, how do you employ that? Or is it something that we're going to want to make an individual cab for? And that kind of goes back to his tweet that I just read. And Bonos Tecmo says, in reference to me talking about Michael B, he knows everything, just wants to string everyone along each week like a storyline. And that's what I find very offensive, is when I was watching the show last night, I was like, you have 200 viewers in here, and you're telling me you haven't paid attention at all in the last couple days and seen what has been put out, because John D retweeted my interview. John D, I mean, and then obviously that was on my YouTube channel, and it was 17 minutes of John D talking about licenses and what the company, what he wanted to do, what direction he wanted to go with the company and what was possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw several people talking about this in Mike B's chat, and he completely ignored it.
Wow.
Which I thought was weird. and to me, I'm like, okay, so you really are just trying to like string people along and have this, you know, hour and a half long stream. What's the point of your stream? Like, what is the point of it then? If you have factual information out there and you're just stringing people along with information, what is it exactly that you're trying to accomplish? That's the way I start to look at it.
Is it,
and
eventually it comes to the point, is it for your sake for being on YouTube, or is it for or is it for the sake of the company? You know,
right.
Just to basically have this kind of like a FOMO hype of nothing.
Bill's Retro Gaming Show says John D's been doing an AMA chat on Facebook for several days now. He's actually answered quite a few things related to Oneup, at least as far as he's able to for now. Yeah, and I did see that, because on Reddit, Neo Hyper had done a transcript of that and my interview video. And Steven the Tech Buzz, congratulations on your newborn. Glad that she's healthy and everything turned out good. Toxin
Kevin Clausen had a good one.
Says, okay, let me hit Toxins first. Remember, Sega pulled the licenses from At Games on the Sega Genesis Mini because of the bad At Games quality. There you go. Brooklyn Menace. And then Biggie D says, I've learned Mike B is a huge gatekeeper, so is P-Dub's gatekeeper. And Kevin Clausen says, Arcade Oneup needs to find a better way to communicate their roadmap. And watching these streams, myself included, and not actual information is shared with the community. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to release that thing with John D, because people have been talking about John D and the company's licensing and what it's doing right now. And I'm like, okay, here, I'll just release this, because this is like a portion of the interview that we had to redo. There was like audio issues. And again, this interview was initially almost 6 hours long. Okay. When I did it with John, it was 2 days and almost 6 hours long. So when I went through and cut everything down, I tried to get like the meat and potatoes of everything. And he did talk about licensing in my original interview that I released, but these were all little tidbits that when I went back through and look at the licensing portions of things, I saw like, oh, there is like these extra little things that he's saying. And so that's what I did. I made a compilation of, I thought, some of the juiciest things that he said in relation to licensing games that they had and what they could potentially do, like what the company had available to them. And that's why I released that, because I thought, okay, here's something, you know, for all these people who are like thirsty for Arcade Oneup information. And and so, you know, to see that people in his chat are talking about this, and he's going the whole stream just like acting like he's speculating on everything about what's going on in the company. It's like, what is there to speculate about? Okay. I said, this is what I know. At the end of this year, they're supposed to release a Robotron or Smash TV cab. and they're supposed to release Tekken, at least 1 through 3, and those should be at the end of 2024 or the beginning of 2025, unless somebody just screwed the pooch and they lose those licenses, or for whatever reason their marketing department isn't going to do it, or because they're losing money, like the company itself is losing money. Now, it's difficult to really say where the company is. Do I think that they're going to go away completely? I think the worst case scenario for them is that they're going to evolve into something else. I think that the like absolute apocalyptic scenario is that they do like go bankrupt. But again, I feel like there's still going to be like some sort of subsidiary residue left over with Tastemakers. I mean, Tastemakers is a huge company, you know, and these people are working with financial institutions to do all the things that they're doing. So I'm going to take a look at the comments here real quick. Do you have anything to say on that, Mensa? Sorry, I'm like ranting.
No, I was helping moderate at the same time. Some folks wanted me to verify the people in the chat. Biggie D's real. You hit on a lot of good points. And once again, like I said, you know, I have my own personal relationships with a lot of these guys too, but that doesn't mean that I can't be a soundboard and still speak on whatever topic you're talking about. It's disheartening from what you're telling me. It's really disheartening. I think, like, if it was me, I get it in a sense, but I think it's a big disservice if you don't let people know where you're coming from. Like, hey, today I just want to do a stream about, nada, and just, let's speculate today, versus what's really happening at A1Up. And then if you're sitting there on the calls with A1Up or have a relationship with them and you really know more truths, then, I think that's a big mind game you're playing. If that's the case, I don't know.
Thumper Squid, I'm sorry.
No, folks, I do not know.
And you guys forgive me if I'm missing chats here, but I'm trying to like keep my thought process going, and I try to go back through the chats as best as I can. If you guys really want me to see something, just put it up again, or Mensa will flag it and he'll let me know about it. But I'm trying to like keep my train of thought. Like that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to do. So, but thank you for joining us, Thumper Squid. And am I missing anybody else?
Didn't miss too much, it seems.
Okay. Unacceptable Fringe says Arcade Oneup has all the red flags of a company going downhill. They need to have a roadmap or at least some communication on what is coming. That's what happened with Arcade. Now, what's interesting though is that I called Arcade Oneup out. This whole thing started with Blitz, okay? This is when I really started to not like the company as a company. When they came out with Blitz, and I was seeing like reviews and people talking about it, and I was like, I did a tweet and I was like, Arcade Oneup, I really think you need to address this, like some sort of official statement would be like really great for the people who are following Arcade Oneup. And they retweeted me. They were like spamming me with like review videos of Blitz that were like good, and they're like touchdown, like this and that, and it was like spam tweets of good reviews.
Wow, that was their way of coming back at you.
Yeah,
that was weird.
And I was like, what is this, dude? And then they spammed me with like a Zohar video, which was like
that's great, right?
Yeah, it was like a satirical video about everybody worshiping Blitz, and I'm like, okay, now you're trolling me. Like, this is a company.
That's not cool. See, I never knew this story. How long?
Yeah, so this is when Blitz came out.
Blitz?
Yeah, and so
see, that got me all right now. See, now I'm going to go all crazy. That's crazy for a company to do that.
Yeah. This actually happened, and I was like upset about it. I was like, okay, dude, like you're a professional company, small corporation, Tastemakers, and this is how you communicate with your customer base and like people who could potentially be talking about your products or whatever. Like, I was pretty pissed about it, and so they did that. And that's when I started to get like, okay, Like, no,
Yeah,
dude. And
that is wild.
so yeah, so that was like this whole thing. And uh I was just like, how does a company of like this scale, you know, do something like that? Like how do they respond to a, you know, even as a small YouTuber, like why, like at all, like to any customer, why would you respond that way? Or to anyone who's talking about your products, like why would you respond that way?
Hmm.
Let me take a look at the comments here. Gamer Armor says, "Yep, people just enjoy attention and drama. They unfortunately string people along for views." Yes, I've learned that their biggest seller that keeps the company afloat is the Infinity Game Board. That's where they make most of their money. I mean,
It's got to be. They don't
I
drop
think
that
it's
table
that
for
and
nothing.
their legacies, like the legacy
That's
classic
where the
crap.
business is going to
Akuma
go.
Rev says the first Oneup failure was Killer Instinct original release, superb quality and missing key features. But the thing is, like, their Killer Instinct was the most refined software wise. But anyways, it was a failure for multiple reasons though, none of which that had to do with actually like the game itself. It was all these other QC aspects, in my opinion. But initially, when it was released, like I know there was huge problems, and I know why. I can tell you why there were huge problems. But I'm just gonna. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now, but I'm gonna tell you that
I love rabbit holes
that it was because
and rabbit foot.
essentially devs weren't provided the resources that they needed.
I hear you. Can I address one of the comments when you're done?
Yeah, go ahead.
I see Tech Buzz. Someone made a comment saying that the company is not being shady. They're just not, or they are not the company we want them to be, and we cry about it. They are not an arcade company. I can see that. I understand that perspective. I think I made that argument before, where it's toys,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think
they are
we're
toys.
holding them to an expectation that they don't deserve. If that makes sense for anybody, and then now they're stuck in this mode of, oh crap, people actually took us serious. Now we may need to up our game. You know, did we get ourselves into a hole on needing to provide quality? Then I see you guys, it's Thumper Squid, Unacceptable Fringe, but then Tech Buzz, he says, not shady, UAG giveaway. Really, I have a different opinion on that. I don't think that had anything to do with the company. I think that whole mess was literally bullshit. As far as what occurred, it was wrong. But to put that solely on the company, I think that's hot BS, as if anyone, no matter how crappy they are, would actually want that to occur to involve their company name.
The company's
so
mistake.
The two don't have nothing to do with each other.
The company's mistake was giving him a cab to give away. That was their only mistake, and not having any stipulations or giving him any guidelines. That was the big mistake from the company. But
I agree.
Wait, roll back to what you just said a second ago. What was the comment before that?
Talking about how actually he speaks on it more. He says, like all toy companies, they exist for retailers, and it's complicated who owns customer relationship. Retro Honda. I agree with Retro. Almost 100% on that. Yeah. Where I see Arcade Oneup as a toy company.
And this is another reason why, which is great, because this brings me into my next point of me releasing those John snippets, is he talks about in that interview what level of transparency is too much transparency when you're a company with a customer base. He says it's really unconventional what they do. Most gaming companies don't have at all the kind of relationship that he really wanted to have with the fan base of Arcade Oneup on YouTube. And and that is an important thing to note, because it shows that he actually was like cared about what the community wanted, what the fan base wanted, and that a lot of the changes that did get made, all product design and stuff like that, whether the quality of the actual like the raw product itself was better or not is irrelevant. I'm just talking about people getting the things that they wanted. People wanted coin doors. People wanted the cabs to look like the original cabs. You know,
and we're talking about John
design,
D's, right?
In design, yeah.
And what he helped. Okay. Yeah, I saw an arcade. I've never seen the show before, but I was doing what I do on the internet, and it was called, was it Oneup Weekly?
Yeah, yeah.
And it basically it had Retro Ralph, right? That's the show, right? With Retro Ralph on it.
Oh, the old one. Okay,
Yeah. Like the real one, like, or from the past. Well, long story short, because I just came into the community not even like a year ago, right? But I'm seeing like something from like 2 or 3 years ago. I'm seeing all the people who were friends being friends that we are no longer not allowed to be friends with, apparently, because they're not friends. But they had John D on the show, and it was the same naysayers. 3 fucking years you guys have been saying the same shit to this guy. But he's on the show, and Console Kids is like asking every question. And John D's answering every question. Now, regardless if he could answer them, he answered it. So he acknowledged you. He may have to speak around it.
Right.
Who the hell is he to say what licenses he has or what is coming? You know? And he explains that. I can't talk about that. You guys know dang well he's not allowed to talk about it, but he's telling you, he's acknowledging you, he's talking about it, he's getting feedback. He's having all this stuff, and I just don't understand how that's a bad thing. Yeah, to have someone like John D around that was actually giving a damn to come on and answer your crap. But then he gets hit up with all this hate crap when he's literally sitting there for like 3 hours, going, marathon answering questions.
And what's crazy is what's crazy is like now you have to wonder like who's pulling the strings behind the scene. Like, is it Travis? Is it Justin? I mean, because we know that Travis is a paid consultant, so he's on their payroll, right. and Justin works for the company. So the question is, string, are they the ones giving information out? Or saying, trickle it this way, or distract the audience, distract the fan base. Like, what are they doing? You know what I mean? It's like they're, it's just,
the end game, right?
It's like, to me, it's like they're toying with people. And it's like, what is the point of all of this? Like, why are you going live for an hour to speculate on something that doesn't need to be speculated about? Like, just give your audience the information. Like, the information is already out there. And it's not like, out of his 200 viewers, I bet probably maybe like, I don't know, 5% of them follow my channel. Maybe 1% follow my channel. So a lot of them aren't going to know. But there was people in there who were specifically commenting on the interview and talking about the information. It just completely like ignored, like looked over. And so to me, it's like, all right, I think that they know that, what I'm saying is right. And that what I put out in that John D stuff was valuable information that could stop this speculation. And it could be like, here's what's going on right now. Other than that, we don't know. I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the thing is, since John D has left the company, where did all the communication with the community go?
Apparently left with him.
Out the window. Bye-bye. There's nothing there anymore. There's no customer communication. There's no relevant information coming from any of these YouTube channels. It's just like, where's Arcade Oneup? And the thumbnail was what for Mike B's live stream last night? Like, let's get loud. What? You didn't even talk about getting loud. You mentioned it in passing, but you didn't, like, it wasn't the main part of the discussion. So, I'm trying to understand like what is going on. And then, I'm going to get into the next segment here, which directly connects to Mike B. And some of these other characters that we're talking about, but let's just address a couple of the comments here. I'm gonna see. Oh, I might have to scroll back up. Sorry, guys. So we have, let's see. Arcade one-ups can't stand against a sledgehammer. Found that out with Pac-Man. I agree with the ball. Unacceptable Fringe. The price of A1-ups say they want to be more than a toy. They want to be taken serious. My expectations would be massively subverted if the cost reflected the quality. And the thing is, like, the cost to me, if it's $600 or less with the way that they're making the products today, like, I can justify it. But the thing is, we know it's going to go on sale because most people in this economy can't afford those prices. It's not about even if the price matches the product at this point. It's that they can't afford those prices. That's right. My opinion. That's just the way I see it based on the way the economy is. Kumarev says facts, Mensa, LOL, years of the same crap and the same people. Thumper says I like everyone, however, Rexer can rub me the wrong way. Billy says apparently can't get licenses because food stamps, according to Papa Brad. Oh God, that's fantastic. Wow.
That's gonna be tomorrow's talk for me.
Kevin Clausen, John D was the best communicator we had. Exactly. And now he's gone. And everybody who bitched about him and everybody who, you know, had this whole it's all John's fault thing. Well, I bet maybe now you're probably wishing he was here for all the ones who are big fans, especially. They make mistakes, don't understand. This is Retro Honda. They make mistakes, don't understand brand management. Right in terms of knowing who you work with is important and impacts your image. John D is
Retro still.
Huh?
I said I agree with Retro. He's basically being the most centrist on the viewpoints. I agree with him.
Rebel, I don't understand why this community gets so butthurt. In business terms, the home arcade community represents about 10% of their business. Exactly. But this is why it's interesting. This is why it fascinates me because, again, and you can see this like on their live streams or on like Arcade One-Up's live streams or on Mike B's live streams when he's getting like 200 to 250 viewers, and then you can see who's chatting in there. I mean, that's generally like the YouTube audience. And then you have Reddit. Reddit has a large amount of fan base on there that all interact. But if you go to the Reddit page, I mean, there's like thousands upon thousands of people in there. So obviously there's a fan base over there as well. That's much bigger, and people in there will talk about. People will talk about all the time in there, though. Like, I don't watch YouTube. I don't follow what these guys are doing. Like, I just come here for information. So that's another small percentage of the fan base that's over there. Let's see. Thor KC, John D was the only communicator they ever had, so he was the best, but he was also the worst. But he was the only one who cared about having a line of communication between the fan base and the company. And like he said, he made mistakes. He did things, he could have done some things better. Bono's Tecmo says the reality is that OneUp has no plan. They're clueless. These creators just want to keep the gravy train going. They get weekly or daily super chats and don't want to lose that. Kumarev says, ask yourself why there are no communications coming out. I am betting they learned the return on YouTube investment is negative measurement for the company, and they make their sales target without YouTubers. Right? That's well said.
Biggie, I see you, Biggie. Says if you discuss something outside their circle, they will shut you down. I see you, Biggie.
Yes. I don't know why I didn't see that. Oh, I'm sorry, Biggie. I really didn't mean to skip over that. But yeah, so he says if you discuss something outside of their circle, they will shut you down. This is 1000% true, okay? And this has happened to me multiple times. And it's basically like a stay in your lane thing. Like, this is my territory, this is my fire hydrant. And it's just, this is what he says right here. He says Mike B doesn't have a plan. He's just grasping at straws. And I agree with that. I think he is, especially after watching his stream last night and going back and like skimming through his previous stream. It's like he is just it's not even grasping at straws. He's just like stringing people along. And that's
for the record, I left less than 15 minutes when my shit didn't get read off. I was butthurt, so I left. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Went.
And so he's just stringing people along. Now 19K Fox, I think he's doing his own thing.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, I feel like he's a pretty solid dude. He's doing his own thing. He talks about Arcade 1Up stuff. I don't know what his relationship is to the company, but as far as I know, he doesn't like have a relationship with the company directly, at least. And he works on a lot of coin op stuff too. So
I want to expound on what JJ says.
What is it?
Michael, once again, got nothing against none of these dudes, but I want to expound on the facts. Michael B, 19K Fox, and the Super Game Room dudes know how to get the most out of YouTube. They have their shows on at the same time every week. It's predictable, and you can expect it. This is true, and it's by design. If it's the same 4 to 5 people after how many years of doing this, when is somebody new arrive at, they go, hey, you, that has nothing to do with the company, that they're not trying to groom or whatnot.
Yeah.
Hey, go and check out Toxin. Go check out Twisted. Go check out Biggie D. Fuck it. Go check out Brad. But you don't see that.
If you want to,
you don't see that.
Yeah. And that kind of brings me into the connection that I want to make, which is that I think I caught part of Cornercade's stream because I kind of watch him to see, like, I'm curious to see like what's going on there, if it's just the same crap, the talking about like pricing and product quality and all this other crap that's been talked about for years and years and years. And so it was the other night, and Mike B dumped all of his viewers over to Cornercade. So now I'm like,
really?
Okay, wait. So this guy who has been publicly called out for using racially appropriating words that do not belong to him, and for going around and gaslighting, as on his content creator account, going around and gaslighting people, or hug boxing people, and then going behind their backs and asking for something else or whatever. Like, you have all this stuff going on, and now Mike B is dumping his viewers off in Cornercade's stream. Are they grooming this guy? Like, that's what it seems like. It seems like they're grooming this guy to represent Oneup. And I know that.
Well, what a coincidence that that's the case, when that's the very, situation that I had when I brought it up to Arcade 1Up, which I know what you're doing with this guy. You need to watch, what is happening. I don't find this acceptable. And then I got, LOL that.
Yeah.
Even though he used these terms, and, it gets to the point where it's like, what does a person have to say? Do they have to say the X word? And then they do, and they still get a pass. I'm in crazy land.
Yeah.
I'm in fucking crazy land.
Yeah. And my thing is, like, I don't care. And I said this on my last stream, so I'm just going to hit it real quick. But it's like, you have somebody who publicly has an account that they admitted to being theirs, that literally every tweet is an N-word tweet. And then this company still is trying to groom this guy. Okay. So to me, the fact that Travis has disappeared and Mike B is dumping his viewers off in Danny's stream means that they're still trying to groom him. And the weird thing is that Danny was supposed to replace Mike B as like
Yeah,
he's
that's what
because
I
you
was
know
told.
like
That's your
everybody,
replacement, buddy.
yeah, everybody knows that he like wants to work for Oneup so bad, like he wants to get free cabs and work for them and blah blah
Because
blah
he
blah
said
blah.
it.
And and so the fact that Mike B is dumping his viewers and his stream, and then you have all these other content creators like P Dubs in there, and uh I don't know. I see a lot of Arcade One Up
I
content
don't know. I
creators in
just the
there
other day
hug
was playing
boxing
second
and
eight,
super
so
chatting and all this stuff.
get
And
better.
then you have like the super toxic people in there who are literally known for being some of the most manipulative people behind the scenes of those content creators, okay? I'm talking about content creators that are dealing with this very manipulative personality behind the scenes. And this is a guy who sends screenshots to people, who passes information around about people, who sends stuff like makes people trust him, gains their trust, and then takes their personal information and sends it around and tries to use it as like collateral. And all these guys
Right.
are dealing with him.
Mm-hmm.
All of these guys continue to allow him in and super chat and blah blah blah. And I mean, at this point, they've admitted without saying that they just allow him to do that for super chats. I think the only one that blocked him is Mike B, which is very surprising to me because, what was it the other day, last week or something like that? Mike B sends me a screenshot of some book. He DMs me some screenshot of a book that Zohar is publishing, and it's about like mental illness and like trans youth or something. I don't know. But I saw it and I just like laughed. But he sent me just a screenshot of it, and I'm like, why would you send me just a screenshot of this? Like what? And I just kind of like laughed at it, and I was like, you should watch the 2 videos I released. Like to show you like that this dude is not like regardless of what it says in his book. I don't care
Hold
whatever
on.
the point of it is.
I'm sorry. I just when you get back, I want to address Kevin when you're done.
Okay. But my point is, and then I say that, and then I said, have you watched those? And he's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, because I know he's aware of what was going on during that time frame. And I was like, I really recommend watching them and like sharing them with people so that,
Right.
people are aware of what's going on here. And then, of course, I got a privacy strike or complaint.
Wow.
And I had to take him down.
What a coincidence.
And so, and then when I asked him, like, did you watch him? No response, ghosted. So I'm like, okay, so you send me this screenshot and then you have nothing to say. Like, so what are you doing? Are you gaslighting me? Like, why are you sending me this? Like, I'm supposed to even care about this in the first place.
So he didn't write you back at all?
No.
He just sent you the screenshot and just ghost you?
Well, he sent me the screenshot, and then I was like, did you watch those videos? And he's like, I don't think so. And
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't think so.
I don't
know. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, well, I think you should watch him. And he's like, okay, I'll give him a watch. And then I DM'd him like a couple days later. I was like, do you have a chance to watch those? And then like nothing, just ghosted. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't know who's gaslighting me. I don't know who's like sending pictures around or whatever. But I'm like, this is the type of like manipulative stuff that I feel like these guys like the content creators do behind the scenes. And I'm like thinking about it and analyzing it. And I'm like, this is the environment that the content creator space of the Arcade One Up cult is in. It's insane.
And to add on to this cult environment measure, Kevin said, I believe Danny apologized, and long as he doesn't repeat the behavior, I'm willing to forgive. He was grown when it happened, and the old saying, everything after but anyway, but since then he now has a family and believe he won't act like an idiot again. Except Kevin, he did. He went around fist pounding, trolling on people who called me specifically the N-word in private text and on the YouTube community, going, yeah, when they were trying to go off on me because I called him out on some bullshit prior. So no, he's a fucking troll. He hasn't learned his fucking lesson, and that's the shit he plays. So no, he can say he apologizes all day. He's full of shit, especially if you're going to go around trolling after the fact. He has no freaking remorse. But I want to.
Yeah. So this is the dark underbelly of the Arcade 1UP cult. Like this is what is going on, you know? And as much as I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that Rexer does or the way that he goes about it, to a certain extent, he's been talking about this stuff, and because I think it's from the point of view that these guys gatekeep everything. And that's the one area where, like, I'll say, okay, that's true. That's true. And I've thought that for a long time. It's just, you know, once you start putting all the puzzle pieces together, then it really starts to make a much bigger picture. And so, you know, back to the whole thing, Mike B dumps all of his viewers off with Danny. Danny is someone who has, you know, gone around fist bumping people when they refer to me as a dude with tits and a dick.
Like,
which is
they're
like
saying transphobic comments,
and then he's like,
but then
he's like, no, I supported, you know, blah, I supported Cheelite, I supported blah blah. Like, but you're going around to all these people and you're doing all these things. So this is like the toxic atmosphere. This is why it's fascinating to me, because nobody talks about it. Like, nobody pays that close attention. And so then it gets my attention, you know, and then I'm looking at every little detail and starting to investigate because I'm curious now. And this is like very interesting to me. Again, it's like fascinating that this level of manipulation, backstabbing, and all this stuff is going on in a space because what? These guys want like YouTube fame or something? Like, none of us are anybody. We're nobody, okay? Like, we're on YouTube. We're 40 to 50-year-old people who are talking about video games, and then people get, you know, sucked down this rabbit hole of like jealousy and hate and and then just wanting to like impress everyone. And that's, you know, again, going back to what Danny does, is he just wants to smile and then when he's not looking in your direction, turn around and like he wants to do this number. Hey guys, how's it going? God, I fucking hate these idiots. They're just dumbest people I've ever seen. All right, guys, let's find out what Arcade 1UP is doing next. That is like the disposition, you know. And then I think there's a smugness that goes with some of these other content creators, but it's like, you know, two of the biggest people, at least one of the biggest people who is doing it, Mike B, is directly.
But do you think he's doing it out of from a different place, in a sense that I know when I interact with Mike B, he's the nicest person, as nice can be. You know, as far, you know, like, I've never gotten any sense of like, I think the guy's evil or something like that. I just think he's just like, he's the picture perfect Canadian.
I've always liked Mike B. In the past, he had done things that were supportive, or I'd been on his show and stuff like that. But it was like when the whole thing happened with the Fast and Furious, and then when the whole thing happened with Zohar, it was like all of a sudden everybody didn't want to have anything to do with me, you know. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what? Because I don't understand, like, what did I do? Because I defended myself, because you know, what, that type of manipulation and mental tomfuckery is like not okay. Uh,
But somehow you defending yourself is considered drama that you brought. You being alive, you being who you are, is considered drama.
oh, we got somebody with a birthday in here. Happy birthday for your 56th birthday,
Is it Teresa or Theresa
Teresa and
and John
John.
Lobos? I just turned 56th birthday today. Congrats.
Oh, see,
Wait,
whenever
whose
somebody
birthdays
has a
are those?
birthday in here, I have to sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Mrs. Lobos. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Hey, I like the
So,
Stevie Wonder version.
okay. Anyways, back to the whole thing. All right. This is like a cult, man. And it's like they know they have a hold over like a certain viewership, a certain amount of viewers. And I feel like,
Yeah,
again,
at least the 200
they're
people.
using that. They're just using it at this point because there's information out there. All right.
Right.
And it's as simple as that. You know, I'm not here to bash on these people. I'm just speaking facts. And if I'm telling you guys something that is my opinion or my experience, I'm letting you know. But this is all based off of factual information, okay? Which is that let's just take recent events. I just released the interview clips from John D where he specifically talks about licensing and what the company has, what they're sitting on, and what's available to them, and what he wanted to do, what he thought they could do, and what could have potentially been ideas that were, you know, R&D'd. I don't know that part. I don't know the R&D part. But what I'm saying is that it was things that he wanted to do. You know, he talked about that Oneup show and all these other things right before it started happening. And that was another big line of communication out to the community. That was because of him. It was because of him. Okay. So I released these clips and I'm telling people, okay, this is what I know. I'm telling you that I heard from a very specific source that they were going to release Smash and Robotron and Tekken at the end of this year, the beginning of 2025. Okay. I mean, those are the facts. Okay. Are the big people that report on Arcade Oneup, where are they? How come they're not talking about that? Instead, they're making speculation videos and saying, get loud, but not even talking about getting loud, because Arcade Oneup doesn't want to pay attention to the volatility of the community, yet they're still giving YouTubers information or not.
Do you think the speculation videos are to be a misdirection to the fact that we now know what may or may not be coming out? So then they can put other people on other crap?
That's what I was saying earlier. Like, so are they misdirecting? Like, you know, what is the point? But that's why I said, what is the point of them going live and doing an hour-long video on speculating? Like, why are they doing that? There's no reason to speculate. There's nothing to speculate about. Like, the company is obviously not saying anything right now. I released this information that is specific to licensing and what they have available. And then I'm telling you, like, the only thing that I've heard of that I know of that was supposed to come out at the end of 2024, beginning of 25, were those two projects. And whether or not those are still happening, I don't know, but I know that they were. I know that they were supposed to. And so, you know, and then the company, meanwhile, the company is totally quiet, but we know that there's people directly related to the company like Console Kits and Travis that are in the background. What are they doing? Like, what are they doing? And then Mike B is friends with both of them. And then he's now sending his viewers over to Danny, which looks like they're all grooming him. And you've got other content creators super chatting that are members of the channel and all this stuff. Like, it's a freaking cult, man.
Well, we know what the kickback is. So I want to ruin the talking point before it even happens. I believe the talking point is going to be, and I like to throw this at you and see what your counter is. What's stopping them from saying you're just a hater who wants to be them, and you wish you had the subscriber count they had, and you're just a hater. I mean, I can already see this coming. So what do you say about that?
I would say go look at the views on majority of my videos and then look at my
Hmm.
subscriber count and then say, is she still a hater? Because
Right.
I'm pretty sure for the size of my channel that I'm do pretty well. And
Yeah, you do.
I don't give a shit about what they think about me or anybody for that matter, because if I did, I wouldn't be released. I mean, of course, like I don't want to come across as being like something, being accused of being something that I'm not, but I can never stop people from doing that. But I'm saying, like, you look at the numbers, they speak for themselves. Look at what I'm
Right.
saying. Like, I'm not holding back. I guarantee you some of these guys are afraid to go up against KFB because he has dirt on them and they're afraid that he's going to like do something or harass them or release the information that he has. And so I'm just sick of it. Like, I'm tired of seeing it, and it's fascinating to me at this point. It's fascinating to me that this amoeba is like this little amoebic community is like there's this high and mighty like gatekeeping aspect of it, and I want to know, why aren't they talking about this stuff? Why
Yeah.
are these things happening, like the N-word thing, the thing with
Yeah.
Fast and Furious, the thing with Zohar, who we know has done favors for the company? Why is Arcade
Yeah.
One Up never said a thing about it? Why have they never shown any overt support to the community? Why are all these things happening? If you care about a community, do something for it. Show your support to the community. Don't string people along. You know,
Right.
don't keep speculating and pretending like you don't know what's going on and saying things like, well, I don't really watch home arcade stuff. Bullshit. You don't watch home arcade stuff. That's all
Yeah.
you do.
That's weird.
And
I mean, and if you don't, you should, if you're gonna,
yeah,
be a part of the space,
yeah, exactly. But the thing is, like, and I was
be
saying this in my
relevant.
stream. Part of the issue is too. I was saying this in my stream is that viewers keep enabling them. Because they go there
Yes.
and it's not even about the channels. Sometimes it's like it's about the viewership. Like, viewers go to hang out with other viewers, and which it's like, oh man, like everybody wants to congregate, in a spot and talk about things, but at the other, on the other side of that, it's like, okay, but the difference is this content creator has information. They know things. Okay, they know things, and all the viewers are in there just like, oh yeah, like speculating with them, and it's like, but they're not speculating, are they?
Right. Yeah. And it's not even a true deep dive on the speculation. And then it's like, where's this going? Um,
No.
it's almost it's like a very commercialized banter. You know,
Yeah.
um, hey, it's like Seinfeld episode. Let's talk about nothing. I mean, it's what I do off the cuff, but I like to go somewhere with it, but I don't know where it's going with them. I guess at the end of the day, it's like, what's your modus operandi, right? What is your end game? What are you getting out of this? What do you get out of this?
Exactly.
If you have to
Exactly.
make, because I know their video qualities are very well made. They put on a pretty good production. They have a you know, hey, better than mine. It's, they they got the beginning story, the end story, so they're putting time and effort towards whatever they're talking about. But to what end game? I know why I do it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you truly get nothing out of it, what motivates you to keep doing nothing? And
Mm.
then what motivates you, if you truly get nothing out of it, to only keep it to your pack?
Yeah.
And because, like I said, after 3 years, has nobody new come into the scene that's not associated with the company that you want to fuck with,
Mm-hmm.
that you want to put on? You know, hey, there's Bo's nose, guys. He's got a show that you never heard of. Go check him out.
Yeah.
I just never seen it, and that's a little weird to me. That nobody's made friends to the point where somebody new is introduced, because there's new people who are coming into this fray.
The thing is though, it's
so it's
like
not welcoming.
It's like the Arcades Anonymous guys. Like they're over there, kind of like doing their own thing. And they seem like a genuine great group of dudes who are just having fun, and they like,
Right.
talking about modding and stuff like that.
Heard about them.
Yeah, and they're just doing their own thing as far as I know. No association with the company or whatever.
That's cool.
And that's like something more genuine to me.
That's refreshing. I gotta check them out.
But again, then going back to what I'm talking about, which is like this inner circle that has some clear and concise connection to the company. And that's where it's like, so Akuma Rep says, the aspect of YouTube which needs to be mentioned is the YouTube algo, and how that works. If they take a break or change subjects, they are punished. And that's not necessarily true, Rev, especially if you have a higher subscriber count. If you're a gaming channel, like if your channel is gaming centric, like it shouldn't be, it really just comes down to your presentation and what you're putting out. Because I can do arcade stuff, or I can do handheld stuff, or I can do console stuff, and I'm still gonna get,
my metrics have been pretty much the same, and I'm about every crap.
Yeah, so if it's staying towards gaming, like it should be fine. I mean, if somebody's doing a live stream talking about gaming stuff, but I think when you clickbait people and you go, let's get loud, making it sound like it's some sort of like company proposition when it's really not, then it's like, no. And now you're speculating the whole stream on things that have already been talked about. Prince Malcolm with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Prince. Get Loud was basically a call for Oneup consumers to reach out to the retailers and convince them there is an audience who will buy a Robotron 2084, etc. MVC2. Petition the move makers via their LinkedIn. And he's absolutely right. And that's exactly what it was. Go ahead, Mensa.
Could you imagine seeing the super chat and ignoring it, guys?
No, I couldn't.
Because that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I couldn't.
That's stung.
If Mike B doesn't want to read your super chat, he's not going to read your super chat. But like people say, he's not entitled to, right?
He's
I feel like
it's
if somebody
is
supporting the channel, in my opinion, if somebody is supporting the channel, like you should read their super chat, unless there's somebody who you've blocked or something, then obviously like no. But I mean, anybody who's supporting the channel,
done great things,
yeah,
but it stung.
Or unless it's like some volatile comment, like then I would understand. But okay, and so that's exactly it. And you know what? That wasn't discussed. It really wasn't. I think he glorified the free MK4 thing, and a couple other things, and it's just like, okay, so those are examples of things that happened.
Mike B or console?
Yeah, on his stream, and I'm like, so what? But and let's not forget that we know, or I know, and if you saw the video that I made that I had to take down, that Zohar was like best buddies with Console Kids. I'm pretty sure they're still friends, and he was sending him screenshots. He passes screenshots around to everybody, okay? And so he sent him a screenshot of something. And I mean, let's just put it this way.
Yeah.
I have screenshots that he sent me that are basically correlating that he sent screenshots to Console Kids of me, of that picture of me that got passed around the internet. And so, I mean, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that implicate? So my point is just that these guys are all talking to each other, and clearly there's things going on behind the scenes. Ezekiel, hi Jade. It's sad we have to talk about this when we could be talking about is games. I support a lot of channels even though I don't have A1-ups because I know there are good people, but nobody is perfect. Thank you, Jade, for this. Ezekiel, thank you for all your channel support. Always appreciate you. And that is like a huge super chat. Like, thank you. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate you though. Ezekiel is a huge contributor to like my channel and pretty much everybody's channel. And I've done giveaways where he's donated stuff.
I just saw the prize.
Like if you want to know, like one of the most genuine channel supporters and viewers of like all these channels that he likes, this guy right here does a lot for the community. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Ezekiel does a lot for the community because he cares about the community, whether it's, you know, gaming, arcade 1UP, whatever. And this is how it should be. We should be able to discuss these kind of things and to bring these kind of things up and address them in a non-malicious way, I think. You know, and again, we're keeping a clear and concise line between what is factual and then, you know, our opinions on things based on our personal experiences. And so thanks again, Ezekiel. I really appreciate that. And yes, he's a positive force. Go ahead.
I see, like, basically what topic is what Thor Casey just said. Mm-hmm. And I saw Brooklyn Menace in the chat. I'm going to do something for Brooklyn that I'm sure that his crew would never afford me the luxury of. I'm going to defend him. I saw that he was accused of some actions not that long ago. And from what I've seen, those actions are not justified. He didn't do what he was accused of. I don't see it. And that's my stance on it. And everybody knows. Who knows. And if you don't know, you'll figure it out.
Wait, who?
Brooklyn Menace and his being trolled.
Oh yeah, no. I think that's just another one of those put out of context and blowing up things to victimize myself.
Absolutely.
And Thor Casey says Zohar catches a lot of crap because he's intentionally obnoxious at times. But agree with him or not, he got loud. Free MK4 and proved how much they listen and communicate back. I mean, yeah, that's all true. But at the same time, it doesn't excuse like the level of like evil extent that he goes to harm people because he gets pleasure out of it. And I mean, I'm not going to go and pull up Mensa's live stream right now where he admits it, where he on a live stream admits that he's a narcissist, that he has a disorder, that it's something he needs to work on, and you know, says that he's going to quit YouTube and take everything down. I'm not going to pull that up, but I can tell you right now, you can go over to his channel and watch it. And I'm going to tell you right now that I don't care if you're the president. And I mean, if Hitler did the free MK4 movement, would that excuse him? I don't get it. So to me, there's no excuse for that kind of behavior. And the point of that I'm trying to make anyways is that he is working behind the scenes with these content creators and pulling strings. He's manipulating people and people don't even know it's happening. They're not even aware of it. And that's what feeds him. It's like an energy source. It feeds him. Okay. But regardless, he's not the subject. He's not the main subject here. Like the main subject is why are viewers getting gassed, and why are people doing this, and why is it acceptable? You know, like that. Like why is it acceptable to just continually gas your viewers? Now, again, like I said, people like to congregate.
It plays on our intellect.
Yeah, people like to congregate and get together and talk about things in one place. But to make a subject that is completely barren and like, you know, soulless, so to speak, is like, what are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish when you know you have direct ties to the company? Okay, direct ties to company, and then all like again for me, based on my personal experiences, to get to start seeing these correlations between messages that are being sent back and forth and getting, you know, screenshots of a book about, you know, transsexual stuff is like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with YouTube? Why do I care? So to me, it's like a lot of these people are going around gaslighting, you know, not only their viewers, but other content creators as well. And to me, that is what is very, that's what the problem is with the cult of Oneup, is that it's the same people enabling this type of toxic behavior. And we're talking about 40 to 50-year-old adults, this type of toxic behavior, you know. And what's going to happen now is that people are going to start going, oh, she's lying, she lying, she'll lying. Like, you could say whatever you want, but the facts are still on the table. Go fact check anything that I've said. Fact check the interview with John. Fact check what Corner Kate is doing. Fact check what, you know, I'm not going to post a screenshot of it, but fact check what Mike B is doing. Fact check what Console Fanboy has done and the network of people that he manipulates. Okay? Why is Console Kit so quiet? Why is Travis MCP nowhere to be found? We know they're both working for the company. What are they doing?
Yeah, this person's
things to think about. $9.99 super chat from Brad D. Arcade Oneup content is dead. I think the home arcade scene has moved on to custom cabs and DIY builds. You know what? I hope so, Brad. I hope so, because it would be a lot more entertaining that way if there was like channels just talking about projects and stuff like that, like Kong's channel or 19K Fox. These, you know, hour-and-a-half long speculation streams when we know that they're connected to the company. And again, in the past, you know, these are things that have been brought up mainly by, you know, the number one hater of a lot of these other channels, who's the Rexer Show. And these are some things that have been brought up. And unfortunately, based on my personal experience up to this point and all the facts that I presented to you guys, it's starting to go full circle. And I'm telling you, it revolves around about 3 or 4 people at this point. Okay. And so I'm asking, why is this happening? You know, why is in this little community, and this is why it's fascinating to me, are people okay with this kind of behavior and this kind of enabling, you know? And I guess, you know, at the end of the day, the answer is probably going to be because people just want to congregate somewhere. They want to talk about things, whatever. Well, then I'm going to congregate here, and I'm going to talk about the things that I think aren't right with that. And that doesn't mean that I'm trying to cancel anybody. As much as they're speculating, I want to sit here and talk about some facts. I want to sit here and ask questions. I have a lot of questions. I think we posed a lot of questions today. And these are all things that need to be brought up. All right. I'll tell you what, one thing here, guys, is that in a lot of communities, a lot of online communities, like gaming communities and stuff, look, this type of behavior is everywhere. Don't get me wrong. But there are a lot of communities that don't put up with it. They straight up, if you have people who behave the way that, like, for example, Console Fanboy behaves, they'll just straight up get blocked and like ousted from the community, because that's not the type of crap that people want in a gaming community. Like, they just want to enjoy it. If you go over to the coin ops community, it's pretty chill there. Like, it's really chill, actually. People just helping each other out, looking out for each other. Nothing volatile. You know, even if they do live streams just talking about building arcades or restoring arcades, very chill, very mindset is much more mature. And so, I mean, I don't know what it is, but I mean, again, it's fascinating to me that this type of behavior is going on. And personally, as someone, and Mensa can, I know you can relate to this, being gassed for speaking up or giving your opinion on something. And not only that, but you know, essentially being told like shut up, or just
Yeah.
completely pushed to the side because people, content creators, don't want to enable the truth.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is. It's a shutdown. Once again, guys, watch who you want to watch, like who you want to like, but you know, they, you know, just like the guys that are being talked about, we don't need the crap either. Nobody needs to get canceled or whatever. Go, but that doesn't mean we can't speak on it. And if you're so afraid of the truth, that might be an issue for you. You know, it's one thing if somebody's lying on somebody, then that needs to be addressed.
Hold on,
But if there's a truth,
I'm sorry, just real quick. So this Andre F or Andre, what is that? Andre?
I've seen them
Andrea?
around. They're kind of trollish. They've been in
So
my stuff too.
okay. At
Always
the end of the day,
Rexer
hold
and all
on.
this crap.
Let me do this. At the end of the day, if they do what they like, is it so terrible for you if they like to keep doing what they like? Is that like, so then if predators do what they like, is it okay for them to keep doing what they like?
According to her standards, yes.
Okay. If I'm sitting here doing what I like, which is analyzing this situation and talking about it with my friend over here, is there something wrong with that? It seems like you're gatekeeping when you come into a chat and you start talking like that. Like I'm just asking. I'm curious. Like,
so this account has been known to do this before. I was in laughed at a joke being made about Justin Wong being called from North Korea, and he enabled and laughed at it. I made a point to speak on it, and then this person came in and basically started gatekeeping for this crew. Like, I'm not saying I agree with Rexer, but you know, why are you you know, it's clear what this account is.
Yeah.
Just say.
I think it's called. I think it's. I think that, you know, when you have a lot of shit stirring going on different channels that cover different things, it becomes apparent.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, and this person only comes around when key people are being spoke about. So it's definitely a troll alt account because they come from the most
all of Arcades Anonymous is here.
So-called neutral point.
Thanks, guys. Nerd Lounge Master. Sorry, let me catch up on the chat. I've just been like ranting. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. A lot of good conversation between people in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here. Arcades Anonymous. Great channel. You guys check those guys out. Miss Dan. Dan's a good guy. But anyways, yeah, thank you. Lots of good conversation in the chat. I'm gonna scroll up here and just see if I'm catching or missing anything. Have you seen any key things? A lot of inner chat.
But what I wanted to say before that Andrea person was, once again, this isn't about like go watch who you want to watch. Once again, I think Mike B is a great dude. Overall, these are She Lion's opinions. I'm her soundboard, and the issue that we're all having is, at the end of the day, what is this all about? If we, you know, if you want to make 500 speculation videos, which I do, go for it. But at the same time, I think it's key to be truthful about where you're coming from. You know, if you're connected to the company, say so. If not, no worries. I mean, if you're telling me I can do a couple of reviews and get a free cabinet, I'm gonna be all for it. You know, call me a show at the end of the day if you guys want. But hopefully, you know, just like you would for Michael B, you respect me enough that I'm still telling you the truth. But I think the issue is where we got is that, are you still being too nice about the product you're reviewing because you're fearful that you will never get a review Arcade again? You know, and I think that's where a lot of people's worries are about where a lot of these folks come from. And I think that's the case for a lot of it, personally.
And the whole thing with Arcade Oneup being a reflection of the YouTubers, you know? I mean, like, when all that stuff went down with Arcade Oneup, they had, look, there was no public apology for their retort when Blitz came out, and I tweeted them. Nothing about that. All right. Then you had the Fast and Furious thing. And again, I did that review, and those were my opinions based off the situation. It had nothing to do with getting the cab for free. It really had nothing to do with that. And the only person who gave support from Arcade Oneup when that whole BS happened was John D. And it's like, you know, dude, I had the cops called to my house because of this psychopath who was afraid that allegedly that I harmed myself, and he knew it would have been his fault if I did, but no, like of course not. And I've said that, like, it's in voice chat, like I would never do that. But the point is that he manipulated somebody into calling the police to my house. All right, like that's not okay, man. Like that is not okay. All right, Arcade Oneup, zero stance on any of it. None. Zero stance on those two incidents. Zero stance on the N-word incident, and these are all things that you can fact check, guys. Go check Twitter. Go check Mensa's videos. Go check his live stream. Go check his video that he has discussing the email in a very calm and professional way, where the response to his concern about a representative or a potential representative using that word, like repeatedly, like Machine Gun Kelly, okay, was LOL, was the first response. And then the second response is a very disingenuous, apology, like, we'll look into it.
We're gonna investigate who sent you that LOL. I'm like, you kidding me? I fucking got the email tag.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah. Put your Gen X pants on and ignore YouTubers that made content you don't like or disagree with. Don't watch or talk about them. Don't give them press or attention. I mean, that's one of the things. I feel like discussing something and bringing up factual points and I'm not like, dude, I'm not crying about it. I'm connecting the dots here. I'm making a point. All right.
Like I said, I don't think you should be scared at the fact that she's mentioning facts. I don't think that should be offensive. I think offensive if somebody was being called derogatory terms or if there are, other efficacies were being brought up, but that's not the case. It's literally, hey, this is what happened. These are the facts. So I don't think you should be mad at, what evils occurred to somebody, welcome to, you're mentally walking in someone else's shoes. Sorry that disturbs you so much.
I mean, if anything, I hope somebody who's just getting into having their own like arcades at home or whatever it is, stumble across this video and see us discussing the things that have happened and what type of space this is and why you need to be really careful, especially as like new content creators coming in. Like if you're a new content creator coming into the space and you stumble upon this, like let it be a lesson to you. Because again, it's fascinating to me that all of this stuff has happened and that it's gone on the way that it has and that it continues to. Bill's Retro Gaming Show. I'm supposed to be working and this is a distraction in a good way. Take care, Jade, Mensa, peace. Take care, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Bill's a class act.
Yeah. But I think that people need to be aware of these things because, ask yourself who you want to work with. If these people are doing these kind of things, here let's make this point. If these people are doing these kind of things, you can take it from me. These are not people you want to work with. You do not want to work with people who are doing these kind of things because one, you're going to get stabbed in the back. The minute you become vulnerable, that's it. Okay. The minute that you put yourself in that position, and I did. Okay. And unintentionally, but I did. And I try to be really careful, but it happens. And it's just been the same repetitive rinse, wash, repeat cycle. So if anything, I hope people see this and they see that we're sitting here like adults talking about this. All right. I'm not like coming from a place of anger, and I'm not trying to say like really volatile things about people. I'm just bringing up factual information right now.
Yeah, I think I saw Thor don't really get what he's saying. He says, I think it boils down to the fact that people who engage in identity politics have a tendency to fall down the slippery slope of identity crimes. I don't get the last sentence.
Of identity crimes?
Yeah, I don't get it. Then
yeah, can you clarify for?
Yeah. Then it says Kuma says he mentioned it's happened back in 2020 between who and water from their spiral spat, same people, same places. I think that's what she's trying to do is people. This is the thing about the term gaslight, folks, for people who don't even know, because a lot of people don't even know. But it's essentially, it came off of, I believe, a movie based on the same term. But say I got this bottle cap, right? And then it moves every so often. And I'm the one moving it. And you notice it moves, but I keep telling you, hey, no, it's in the same spot. That's me gaslighting you, meaning that, it's a form of abuse. And this is what's been happening in the community. And this is where people pretty much get mad at people like me. I archive it, I snapshot it, and I remind these people, hey, 2 months ago, you pulled the same shit. Hey, guys, now it's 4 months. You still pulled the same shit 2 months ago and 2 months prior to that. And I got it all archived. I could probably put up like 10 to 15 times the same crap has happened, like some bad repeat matrix level shit. And this is what we're exposing to you guys, is that you're falling into the same repeat rinse cycle. It's just like actually what the other guy said about politics. It's the same crap that happens in the country, in the sense of that. I won't get too far off, but the same news drama pops up. Every October, here comes North Korea. And then we forget about it. Oh, North Korea again. Then we forget about it. And it's the same rhetoric, the same crap. And it's happening in this community where it's the same people having the same spats. And then somebody new arrives who doesn't have a clue.
And the same type of audience manipulation too.
Right.
Rich Dello says, Jade knows firsthand. Agreed, Jade. Thanks. Unacceptable Fringe drama farmers aren't worth the time or exposure. If people didn't mention them, they'd fall off the earth. And unfortunately, like in this space, Fringe, I'm gonna have to I disagree with you respectfully. Just in this space, like that's not a thing.
But see, that's the thing. There's a difference. We aren't the ones that empowered them to fall off. The people who are putting them on are keeping them on, and that's who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you're accepting the super chats, if you're accepting the bull crap, those are the people you need to go for, not for the people calling out the insanity of doing so.
And it's a back pocket thing, in my opinion. It's a back pocket thing to have him in your back pocket in case you need to point him in a certain direction. Chaotic BPR says, I don't socialize with people who put themselves in the middle of drama or cause drama or be fake. I enjoy games and having fun with the new friends I've made in the community, and that's good. G.I. Joel says, by the way, G.I. Joel, thanks for sharing your opinion before I read it. But he made this really cool little bottom half of the, oh God, what is it? The countercade. So that you can use with your arcade Oneup countercade, and it's like super cute. But it's just really cool and kind of gives it like a mini
is that the guy?
1/16 scale look I think I posted a video about it on who was it?
I want
Mad
to
Little
buy one.
Pixel. I think I posted his video on the Arcade One Up Reddit. But anyways, that was really cool. If it becomes a regular topic and style of the show, I think that should be a concern. There are a few shows out there that it seems this is always, they have to talk about arcade conspiracies and drama. And that may be true. That may be true. But for me personally, it's the current in this situation, it's the current I want to say stigma, but that's not the right word. But it's the current demeanor of the community, and like there's almost like a certain level of desperation in you know, because there's no news from Arcade One Up or whatever. But the content creators that are delivering most of these speculative streams are the only ones who actually know or have a good idea about what's going on. Now they may not know whether or not the company's going bankrupt or they're going to like quit or whatever, but they have inside info. And again, if you know somebody's releasing information and they're not sharing it from another channel, like why is that? Why don't other little channels get, like, not even the channel, like the information from the channel, why isn't that being held up and being like, here's a tidbit of information that seems to be factual, like let's talk about this.
Well, like Big Reese, when he had some tidbit information that was most likely true,
dude, yeah.
And all the big content creators took snapshots of his shit, gave him no credit, zero credit, and had the audacity to speak on it like, oh, just some guy just blah, blah, blah. You know who you stole that from. And you gave that man no credit. And shame on all y'all who did it.
And let's see. All right, let me, where did I go? Yep, he's like Epstein collecting all your info and skeletons so he can use it against you. I mean, that when they here's Thor's replying to his previous statement. I mean that when they make a discussion about and or what people are, if quickly degrades into things like doxing and swatting, etc. That's very unnecessary. You know, in my case, when it came to the information in chats, like I had to do that to protect myself. Especially when there's no, like, Mensa was really at the time the only person who outwardly was like kind of like, you know, stand on my 2 feet, because, you know, not that I couldn't have without him, no offense, Mensa, but it was like nobody else was willing to,
strong, independent woman,
to stand up with me and be like, no, this is BS. Like, it was like nobody else believes it. Like, people start calling me a liar, and it's like, dude, I'm not lying. I'm not lying about it. Like, and that's like people's default. And it's like, how are you calling me a liar when I have hard evidence right here that says exactly what I'm saying? That's not lying, dude. Like,
they said you were drama.
Yeah, and saying I'm drama, like,
to help you.
Like, no.
So I had to use my own platform.
Toxin says, yeah, it's the same stuff with the same players. Why has the world lost the art of calling other people wrong when they are doing something wrong? Gen X, stand up. And any bets on how long it will take before Zor sorry ass makes a short video or whole attack in the stream? That wouldn't be a good idea, but I mean,
yeah, I mean, that's up
who
to
knows?
him.
We'll see. Rev as well. Some people like the drama as their form of entertainment, and that's true. That's true. Well, I'll go back to that, but never end. Same cycle again. Fringe says I should have been more clear. Sorry, I meant people taking the money and not calling it out. If they get pay to play, it just keeps it around. Chaotic BPR, that's the guy. Midlife, Akuma Rev under 36, first 3 days are the hardest. Oh, sorry, I didn't get that. JT Games, we all know the peeps in this community that are doing the gaslighting. They're the same peeps from the beginning. And now there are streamers that don't have a clue because they are too new. And that's kind of exactly my point, and that why
I think I made that point. Yeah.
why I feel the need to like talk about this, because it's fascinating to me that the rinse, wash, and repeat cycle keeps happening, and it's been talked about over and over again. And the major content creators, in my opinion, are the ones who are driving it and allowing it to happen. The ones who are gatekeeping are not. They're gatekeeping all the wrong people, in my opinion. Okay, because then they're dealing, with other people behind the scenes who are pulling strings. And so that's the purpose of this, is to like get out here and discuss something like adults and talk about what is going on, and I'm absolutely not doing this again from a place of anger. This is like more fascinating to me. I'm definitely like, it definitely is like aggravating some of like the gaslighting that happens. I'm not going to lie about that, but I'm to me at this point, this is from like my personal experience in here. And then I'm totally presenting facts about things that have occurred and what I know and what's put out there, and just analyzing. And Richard Udella says, why weaponize a hobby for discussion? Just avoid watching the negative content. That's how your voice is heard.
Where is that?
Oh wait, dissension? For dissension.
Yeah, dissension. Why weaponize a hobby for dissension? Just avoid watching the negative content. That's how your voice is heard.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that has to be from I think from the viewer's point of view, but all these little details, like, people are gonna see it. You guys are seeing it. You're hearing it, and I mean, if it's not clear enough, like if all the things that I've mentioned and go ahead.
Here's the fallacy there, because the content you're watching, you don't consider negative. The negativity is that we're exposing that what we believe is the gaslighting in the positive content.
I think he's talking about the audience, like from the audience perspective.
Okay, that went over my head.
I think Rich Odell, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought you were talking about from the audience perspective. So anyways, again, it's like, I just think that this community just keeps, again, like I said in my previous stream, basically shitting on themselves and then swimming in it. And the content creators who are up at the top could be doing something about this to help in that community. And again, it's just fascinating. And based on my personal experiences, it's like, I want to talk about this stuff. Like, I want to sit here and analyze it. And no, I'm not, like, it's not going to be like a thing, where I feel like I need to do like a weekly episode about it. It's just like, at the moment right now, to me, it's a very interesting topic, especially with the release of, the licensing information and some of the things that I'm seeing these other channels do, because I'm curious if like any of them, especially the bigger ones, are going to talk about some of the information that is available. So Akuma Rev says, I wish people would support. Oh, go ahead.
As soon as he said that, 5 people dropped.
Wait, what?
So apparently you could gift subs, and that's going to actually oust like the people who are lurking. I didn't know that. That's smart as hell. But as soon as he said it, like 4 to 5 people dropped instant.
Wait, what did I say?
Oh, I'm sorry. So Kumarev made a post saying that I would give 50 subs to see who are the lurkers, but my wife told me not to go fishing in the YouTube chats anymore. And as soon as he said that, it went from 40, 6 people dropped. Oh, more people dropped. They're dropping. They ran.
Oh my God.
You cowards.
So,
that's hilarious. Now I know the secret sauce. I'm gonna do that next time.
JJ says, do us a favor for all the old farts like me who used to be cool. Please speak plainly. Don't say gaslight. Say lying. Hug box. I don't even know what that could possibly be, etc., etc. I'm sorry, JJ, man. I'm not doing it on purpose. Well, I mean, I am, but I'm not. But yeah, okay. Um, but I think, is there a difference between gaslighting and lying? I feel like there is, because I feel like gaslighting
There's a difference.
is like you're bending the truth to get somebody to react to it, and you know, it's like a trajectory, like you're firing something at them, like right off to the side to get them to
There's a
react
difference because
to
it
it.
would be the same word.
Yeah, I mean, so
Otherwise, there's a difference.
that's why I say gaslighting versus lying, because I think there's a difference. Uh,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier with the whole cap thingy, this is a cap. It's
yeah,
real. It's on the
he
table.
says say half truth.
You know.
Okay, all right. There's a lot of parameters here, JJ.
No, it's still not a half truth because it ends up being eventually ends up being a whole out lie. But there's a process. It's a psychology process. I would just look it up.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, you guys can see, like, this is it. Like, this is my, so this is the whole web. Okay, is we have information, we have facts out there, and it's like, you know, so are they grooming Cornercade to represent the company, you know, by the way that they're doing things? And you know, why is Arcade One Up as a company, let's just focus on the company for a second, based on their history, why are they not responding to these things? Like, why are they not saying anything? Mensa made a video about the whole N-word thing, and they had nothing to say about it. And again, that's their move. Like, you know, oh, we're not going to say anything because then we don't look guilty, even though this dude made a video which has our email in it and specifically shows that we laughed at him when he brought up a concern about a slur. And it's like, dude, come on. You know,
And
like,
what they think is by us being quiet on it for a while, then the content makers can go back to supporting the same crap. And
right.
then when we call it out, I'm the drama, you know, because it's my fault that somebody called your 14-year-old child the N-word over Call of Duty. You know, that's my fault. Sorry, guys. You know.
So, you know, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I think if anything, like, they could even do like a blanket response, but they're not gonna, and they're not gonna do a response like to the community either. I don't think. I mean, if they do, it's gonna be through a YouTuber.
Hey, I want to be key on stuff. We are two different people. We are not the board. Whatever comes out of Jade's mouth comes out of her mouth. Whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. So be careful of, you know, who you said what.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no you guys.
The most actual gaslighting I have seen is really from Oneup saying they'll be more transparent and work with the community, then no show their own streams without explanation. Yeah, but who's the liaison? Who's supposed to be the one that's on the payroll that's supposed to be communicating to the community? Didn't somebody get hired for that?
Yeah.
TechBuzz says, can we go back to console kits on the payroll for Oneup? Do you guys have proof of this?
That's what I spoke on.
Oh, you talked about it? Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Last
okay.
Time with the whole, that was my diatribe.
I'm not going. No, I wouldn't. Do I have proof? I wouldn't take what I have and present it because for privacy reasons. Let's just put it that way. Gotta roll back into work. All right, Damage, take it easy. Yeah, no, not specifically like focused on that one thing. More of a mention in passing. So, yeah, I mean, so those are all my connecting points. All right. Is that, I mean, you triangulate essentially, you know, these people who are kind of like the mainstream part of it right now, which whether it's in the background or it's on the forefront, And I have to ask, like, why are these things happening? You know, and again, when somebody sends me another content creator sends me like a DM with a picture of a book about like transitioning, like, what do you want me to do about that? Like, all right, this dude's like, you know, he's demented. Like, I mean, I could even possibly agree with some things that are in the book. I don't know, but I mean, this dude's demented, and like, why would you send this to me? Like, knowing the history and the past experiences that I've had.
But wouldn't that be hypocritical if you're not supposed to be about the drama, but drama is being sent your way? But now you're not supposed to react to the reality that you were sent the drama by the content creator. That's a little weird, you know, because you were basically removed from that. Now you're being reminded of it.
Billy Wright says, help me understand more. What exactly do you think A1UP should do, and how many companies do say something when a YouTuber gaslights? Well, I don't know which specific reference you're talking about. I'm not talking about my DMs right now. I mean, when I talk about A1UP, I'm talking about like the past experience of a company puts out a tweet. I respond to the tweet, and then their response to me is to put up like multiple tweets of good reviews, and then a satirical video that Console Fanboy made in tweets publicly. When I say very nicely to them, like, I think you guys like kind of botched this, and you guys should make like a public statement about it. Let people know what the update path is going to be like, whatever, you know? And then their response is just to like tweet, like spam tweet, you know, reviews for Blitz, and then a satire video. So like, explain to me why a professional level company would do something like that and then not make a public statement, which the simple thing would have been to just make a public statement about what the problem was.
Right.
So I think that they should make a statement to the public about what's going on. I think that if they have a fan base and YouTubers who are working for them, that they should definitely, I mean, at the very least, have a statement go through them, you know? But instead, you've got these YouTubers that are working with them or working for them and there's no real communication. It's all, you know, speculative, allegedly. I mean, based on the stream that I watched last night, they're definitely not talking about, you know, anything as of recent that's come out.
Unacceptable Friends pretty much said negative press is not bad press.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I paraphrase.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about, Billy, is I think that they should make some sort of a statement. I think that when it comes to it's not about the YouTubers. I'm talking about they should make a statement about, you know, if they have a whole fan base asking them what's going on with this product that you just released, they should respond to it. But they don't respond to anything. Now, in the case of Mensa with the whole N-word slur thing, he clearly had an email transcription between them. They could have made a public statement and said, this is the very least, they could have made a public statement and said, we're very sorry for an interaction that occurred between one of our customers, and we'd just like to say that we wholeheartedly do not support any type of, you know, bigotry or whatever. I don't know. Like, they could have said something. I
asked for a dialogue because they said they're going to investigate, And I'm like, okay, well, I've been applied to, talk about it. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about it tomorrow or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I got your number and let's talk. Nothing.
Now, as far as the YouTubers go, like the bigger YouTubers, so again, they're then still supporting these small channels and grooming them, and
Right.
it's like, okay, so now you're associated with the company, you're associated with the company, and there's somebody who we don't see who's associated with the company. So there's marching orders coming from somewhere, or
Right.
you're just that ignorant. Like, and I'm pretty sure it's not that you're that ignorant, like you don't know what's been going on. Like, you're completely aware. In fact, I know that these people are aware. So, um, does that answer your question? Because I want to make sure I'm like answering your question. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Andy's game room. I think we lost him. What am I missing? I occasionally check in on Danny's stream after about 10 minutes. I feel dumb. Can't hang in there. Billy Wright. Honestly, how many companies do that though? We are talking about Oneup. They've never been transparent, and honestly, not one influencer influences me. Well, I do know that like when companies like get accused of, you know, assault, like assault and things like that, that they respond to it, that they make some sort of public statement saying that we're looking into it, and we absolutely do not condone or support anything like that. I've seen it many times.
Thank you, Bo.
So that's my personal take on it. And do I agree with what you're saying about Oneup, that they've never been transparent? And yeah, I mean, they haven't always been transparent. That's true. In fact, most of the time, especially them coming from just the company itself, definitely not. I think John was the only person who tried to nurture that to at least a certain extent. Um, but yeah, so but that doesn't excuse the fact that they didn't do anything, and it's in the public space. So again, like companies I've seen will at least blanket address things and say, there was recently this event. We don't condone this type of behavior, and we're looking into it, or something like it.
I can tell you this: if John D was there, I would have gotten feedback.
Yeah,
I know I would have. It may not have been the feedback that I wanted, but I would have got the feedback that I deserved, which was feedback, period. What's the status? And that's where they fell tremendously.
So, and same thing with their equipment. But yeah. But if the question is, do you expect that from Arcade Oneup? I expect it from a professional level company. I expect that they respond to things like that. Do I really think that? Do I think that Oneup is going to? At this point, probably not. There was a point where I thought like they would maybe, but at this point, probably not. And this is why I don't like the company. Yes, but that's the thing, is that this person is tied in with the company. Like they're supposedly like supposed to be grooming this person to fill in, a public position. And so if that's the case, then it should be addressed, especially if there's empirical evidence showing that this is what they said.
Yeah.
So professional level company is the issue. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, I see your argument. They're not professional. They've not been reliable in the area of public communications or HR, and that's true. That's true. But it does not excuse the fact that these have been like ongoing issues that have kind of been building up. And so these, again, all of these things are things that I think need to get brought up and discussed, and that, there needs to be a level of transparency on the type of things that go around, not only this company, but, then refract back into the community. And again, to see it and to not see things being addressed is part of the problem, okay? Because if a war starts happening around you, and I'm not saying there's a war going on, but if war breaks out around you, and your house is in the middle of where this war is happening, what are you going to do? Are you just going to stand out in the middle of the street and let yourself get shot? Or are you going to, speak up or talk out against it, or, before the war starts, et cetera, et cetera? That's kind of my personal take on it, is that, as a content creator who's been in the space and who has dealt with some of these things, like, I think it's like, my responsibility to kind of say something about it and discuss it, to bring things to light for people in the community who do want to know, or for content creators coming into the space. Because if people don't know, then there's not going to be any kind of learning curve. It is just going to be the rinse, wash, repeat. And that may be the way that it stays. But again, I feel like I need to say something. Like, I'm watching this stuff happen. I'm watching the interactions that go on. And, that's how I feel about it. So I get that not everybody agrees with that, and that's okay. And I get that, people are gonna, they're gonna counter argue that just don't watch and all that stuff. But it's not always that simple, especially from the content creator point of view. So we would not be having this discussion if Oneup would have communicated. Biggie D says, thank you for voicing your opinions on this. Much needed. Andy's Game Room, thanks, Rebel. Had to leave a couple times, but it's good now. Oh, okay, cool. The only word I could use for Oneup as a company is disjointed. Very disjointed. Yeah, very disjointed. That's definitely something that's been brought up before, too. Biggie D says, Mike.
Biggie, what happened to you? Because you're really expressive on that they gatekeep you. I'd like to know what happened to you. I don't know about it.
Yeah, if you want to share that in the chat,
you're free to share. That's your opinion.
Go ahead. So
I would hope not. I thought you guys were all pretty cool.
Yeah, so anyways, that's my take on it, and that's why I feel like it's something that does need to be discussed and that people do need to be aware of. So I hope that makes sense for the most part. And again, I know not everybody's going to get it or agree, but it's especially applicable to content creators. It's definitely applicable to the audience, but it's especially applicable to content creators. And again, I know that there's always that aspect of let's congregate in a safe place. I'll tell you what, if you want to congregate in a safe place, go to one of Bkong's streams, go to one of 19K Fox's streams. Arcades Anonymous. Those dudes are all about just chilling, having fun, multicade stuff.
Go check out Biggie D.
Customization. All right. And go see Biggie D if you want to hear like really funny spins on stuff that he learns. But Biggie D is genuinely a good dude, and has no ill will. So
yeah, he has no ill will. I saw that I'm in a fishing hat on one of these comments. There we go. You just got achievements in the fishing hat, and Jay needs to put some reading on it.
I didn't realize there was this much deception in the space. Thanks for the information.
Yeah, it's there, man. And it's just it's not all, smiling faces, man. It's not all smiling faces. And like I said, a lot of them are cordial, and I don't think there's any like there's no, you know, Illuminati, we're going to destroy the world, but it's clearly a clique, and I think a lot of people are just frustrated that if you just go back, as I'm new to the scene, but if you go back a couple of years, it's the same shit, you know, and where's the others? Where's the new folks? You got all these people in here. They either had a YouTube channel or have a YouTube channel, and I ain't heard nothing much about nobody that nobody else had put on. And it's not that they have to, but you're still going to get called out. But once again, there are people in the space that spoke on that has put us on. Justin came by my show, acknowledged me. Michael B hosted Bash Gaming. I thank those guys for what they did. So these are facts. We're only speaking on facts, folks.
Yeah. And Kumarev says the best thing they could do is not say anything. That's from a corporate officer perspective, right? But the problem is that, and you're right, and that's why they don't. But the problem is that they're interacting with the community. If they weren't interacting with the community, it would be a different story, I think. But I think since they have interacted with the community, and they do interact with the community, and they do have people behind the scenes who are disseminating some sort of information or available to certain YouTubers, that they do have a reason to, or a responsibility to. And that's why I said even a blanket statement is some sort of acknowledgement, and is better than nothing. But they should also remove all fingers from the pot and just sell toys. Yes, that is very true. They should just go to selling their crap and then not having any connections into the community. That's where they need to go, because at this point, it causes more volatility in the community, in my opinion. Hold on, let me see. Gamer Fridge. Yes. Yeah, again, Arcades Anonymous. If you guys want to go to a no-shill environment, a no-shill, no connections to the company, at least not that I'm aware of, guys, a place where you can learn to just or get tricks and talks about modding and enjoying the hobby of 3/4 scale stuff or multicades. Like, go check them out. Another good one is the I think it's the Three Amigos with Retro Lizard, Vic VP, and Ray from he's like the distributor for Gun for IR and does like custom mods in the US. And I feel like they have one more guy on there now. Is it Brad D? Oh my God, I can't remember. I think it's Brad D.
Anyone named Brad is blacklisted by me.
But
it's fucking wrong.
I just made the connection. But yeah, so check those guys out. They're really cool. They talk about stuff. Three Amigos is always doing giveaways, and it's just like they're just having fun. Those are good channels. Those are good places to congregate. All right, that I would recommend checking out. Because I'm telling you right now, like that.
Yeah, about 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I just looked at the time. I'm like, holy crap, dude. I'm telling you right now, if you just want to go enjoy yourself and also not be bombarded by jackassery, or super chats that are obnoxious, like those are really great places to go and just congregate as a gamer, as an enthusiast, and to enjoy it. And as far as all of the things that I've talked about and mentioned, again, I've really tried to make it clear what is factual and what I know versus what my opinion and experiences related to that. So I hope that helps. And if you're a content creator in the space like Biggie D or some of the other people that I see in here, no matter how big or small you are, get out there and do your stuff. Don't be afraid of criticism. All right. And nice, Mensa. And you know, if you suck, you suck. It's okay. If you're, you know, good and you're coming up, that's great. It doesn't matter. Just do your thing. But what I would say is really, really, really make an effort to keep everything like that you're doing like honest. All right. And that's one thing that is like with me, it's like if you just enjoy the hobby and you're here to like talk about it and learn more, that's cool. But when you like know absolutely nothing, I don't, hold on. Mensa, I love you. Thank you for joining. And I'll catch you later.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Hold on, let me switch my view over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is, oops. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can go, whoa, I'm upside down. Oh my God. Let's see, I think, oh, there it goes. Whoop. All right. So we're getting to the point of wrapping up here, but anyways, my point is, you know, do your thing, enjoy it. If you want to create a place to congregate, that's awesome. You know, my thing is I'm very passionate about the hobby. I don't like, you know, seeing people, and you guys can call it gatekeeping or whatever. I think there's a big difference between like being protective over a community versus like actually like trying to push people out. And I'm not afraid to talk about any of it, to be honest. But I just think if you come into a space and it's well known that you're doing things just to like make money and you don't care about the community and you go around, you know, openly backstabbing people or leaving comments that are certainly indicative of that, then that's the type of stuff that I don't like. You know, I don't like the speculative crap that's playing off people's super chats and has no relevance at all when there's information that's out there. So Rich Odello, Jade, just keep doing you. Run on your own wavelength. Blinders on as your passion as a parent. Thank you. But thank you for listening to me. And Mensa, thank you for hearing me out. You know, again, you guys make up your own minds. I always say, do your own research. Hopefully you've caught a couple places where you can go and check some of this information out and clarify for yourself. But do your own research and, you know, don't be afraid to ask these other content creators questions about, you know, stuff that makes sense about these products and about why they're doing what they're doing, you know? And I don't mean like attacking. I just mean like, don't be afraid to talk about it and bring these types of discussions up. And as far as this channel goes, I do have a Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, which is supposed to be shipped out hopefully today. And I will be getting that. So my goal is to do right now, with the way school is and everything, is to do basically 2 really good videos every month on this channel. And then short form content. So I'm excited about that. I'm really excited to get the Retroid 4 Pocket Pro. And if you guys haven't seen this, I did a custom, I just customized my Ambernick and made it a Jet Set Radio theme. And it's loaded up with DC games, obviously. But did like the stickers and the buttons. So this is kind of some of the stuff that I've been working on. And I did a 3DS mod. So hopefully I'll be releasing some new content for sure in February, and then short form stuff. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff. But anyways, back to the starting point. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you listening. And right, JJ? I know I'm super excited. I appreciate you guys listening and just hearing me out. And again, do your own research. All right. I I definitely have feelings about all these things, but I'm not trying to project any hate on any of these people. These are just things that I'm bringing up, and regardless of what's happened in the past, it's what I feel like I need to do, and I want to talk about, because I do want to see, like, viewers to be able to see this. I do want people from the community or new content creators coming in or new viewers coming in to be able to see stuff like this and be aware of what's going on. All right. Y'all take care. All right. Stay safe out there. What day is today? Thursday? Thursday? Yeah, I think it's Thursday. It's Thursday. So stay safe. And if I don't see you this weekend, which I might stream, maybe. No, I might not this weekend. But you guys stay safe. Have a great weekend. All right. And give somebody a hug randomly on the street, or ask them for a hug and see what happens. Okay. Much love to y'all. Take care. Bye.